Hey, what's up guys? John here. California just enacted a new law that will likely change housing and real estate values throughout the entire state. I believe this trend could very well follow in many other states, and it's something that we all should be paying attention to closely, is not just homeowners or real estate investors or landlords, but as everyday people, because I believe this is going to change property values throughout the board in states in which enact these similar policies. Here's what's going on. Please hit that like button. Hit the like button. YouTube's going to share this content to educate more people about what's happening in the real estate industry and the economy and really what's going on. California rolls out a daring new housing policy to combat high home prices and increase supply. Now, granted, home prices are at record levels, right? So we're looking at these record high prices that people are paying to enter these properties, and we're going to see what everyday citizens are going to do to offset these mortgage costs, which could in turn greatly impact the asset value that people are paying for. California is the last place you think of that would lead the way in adopting daring new housing policies designed to dramatically increase the supply of housing. For decades, the Golden State's been at the forefront of doing just the opposite by imposing the nation's toughest restrictions on new buildings by far. In housing circles, the joke is that the state's municipalities have gone beyond the not in my backyard or NIMBY restrictions so commonly in the coastal markets to another dimension of stonewalling, dubbed banana, for building absolutely nothing anywhere near anyone. Amazingly, California recently enacted a new law that, if it works as planned, could break the logjam and over time swell the stream of new homes entering the market each year. From Fortune's latest book and where home prices are headed in 2022, see this story. Under California's plan, these new abodes would also be much lower priced than the newly built houses that now trickle forth. And the programs would achieve natural market-based affordability without relying on subsidies or income limits. The approach, tilted lightly touch density, was developed by the American Enterprise Institute Housing Center in 2019. The idea is simplicity itself. If homeowners can build 2 units on their lots instead of just one, the same land is now supporting 2 abodes. The land cost per dwelling are cut in half, sharply reducing the supply, the biggest input, into the total cost of a unit. In place, the old policy that freezes the volume of buildable units, the Golden State would generate abundant new supply and allow the ground under homeowners' existing residents to sprout freshly built new units. This is all part of homeowners making decisions, said Ed Pinto, director of AEI Housing Center. So it will evolve gradually, but surely the way compound interest returns. Keep in mind, we're talking about a base of 1 million and millions of lots. Now you think about what this would mean for, let's say, the residential space. If you own a home and the market inside of your community, the average price is $750,000 or $900,000, which is median price communities in Los Angeles now. What would likely happen in the event of a recession or in the event of stocks continuing on their decline, and you have retirees that are really contemplating what their retirement's going to look like. They're going to be looking for ways in which they can increase their income. And so if they can build a duplex on their lot, they likely will do so, thus bringing in many more people into a community, which then changes the ultimate community. Now, this could be great for renters because renters will see, more housing options available, likely bringing down rental rates. The more supply, the lower the prices, right? But the other turn, as we look at what is that going to do for landlords? Landlords that own properties where they're buying these properties at a 5% return or a 6% return, if they were to reduce their rents 15%, they may be operating their building at a big loss, not taking into consideration the eviction moratorium and other problems that these landlords are going through. So the more supply that comes out, the better for the tenant potentially, but the more financial distress will likely come to the commercial side of the housing market, and I believe that values will likely come down in communities. A lot of communities, especially under that $1 million threshold, the multi-million dollar communities where there's $5 million homes or $10 million homes, the really rich people will likely not see, their neighbors building out, duplexes in their yard. However, in the everyday entry-level house, housing community in Los Angeles or in California, we'll likely see a lot more supply being built. We'll also see a lot more developers looking at these single family lots saying, hey, The interest rates are going up for home loans. Buyers are getting priced out. Does it make sense for us to buy this $800,000 fixer? Or maybe we buy this $800,000 fixer, we put $50,000 in the front house, we build a duplex, we spend $200,000 doing that. Maybe we're all in at $1.1 million, and then we could rent out the back two units for $2,000, bring in $4,000 in the back units, rent out the front house for $3,500. Before you know it, they're making $7,500 or $8,000 on a $1.1 million investment, and they likely, only put 20% down in the front house, and they finance the rest with a construction loan or maybe pay all cash. They might make $3,000 a month or $4,000 a month in a worst case scenario if they can't sell that property, right? If the recession really takes a foot, we could start to see a lot of people saying, that's a much more attractive option in this inflationary environment, is to just buy up these single family lots and put duplexes in the yard and then just, and rent them out this way. Or potentially just sell them on to an owner user who's looking for a more stable asset. We're going to likely see this really take a really big grip over California's real estate market. The big question is how many people are going to be, looking at this as a way to generate additional income, and how many people are going to say, this is not something I want in my backyard. What do you think about this? Do you think this is a good situation? I mean, California has a real housing crisis. So does New York. These communities are, they have these housing crises, even though they have rent control. A lot of people think rent control is going to make things more affordable, but some of the most expensive places to live and to rent are the ones with the most regulations, the most restrictions, and the most red tape. And that is California. That is New York. These places are so expensive. Whereas other places, a couple of years ago, they were much more affordable. Places in which allowed business and enterprise to just, act more freely. I believe that this is going to, really change the game for California real estate. I think it's going to have a really big impact on the housing market. And I think that this is likely going to only be just the start. I think this is really going to come to many other states. And I think that home builders are really going to be looking at this. I think that people in retirement age are going to be looking at this. People that are looking to make extra income, and nowadays in this inflationary environment, who isn't, are going to be looking at this as a way in which they can generate additional cash flow. What do you think about it? Drop below, hit the like button, subscribe here. Also subscribe on my second channel. It's going to be an interactive call-in show. I already have 4 guests confirmed. So every Friday it's going to be released, and the call-in show is going to start every Monday morning. So it's going to be really, really awesome. Be sure to subscribe over there. And if you're interested in fixing your credit, you want to improve your credit score to invest in real estate, or maybe even get a car, or whatever your situation is, but your credit's holding you back, we'd love to help you at cashnow.video. If you want to learn how to invest in real estate, go to cashnow.video. If you want to get on the YouTube grind with me, get on cashnow.video, and we'd love to help you across the board. All right, catch you guys in the next video.